عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Good evening, distinguished guests, and everyone who is watching us tonight through different online channels. We are honored to host today's event at Kuwait Technical College, KTech, in collaboration with the Embassy of India in Kuwait and the Institution of Engineers India, Kuwait chapter. Today's event is a webinar that is called Cybersecurity 101, where our distinguished speakers will teach us how to protect ourselves digitally. We would like to offer a special thank you to our partners at the Embassy of India in Kuwait, represented by His Excellency Sibi George, Ambassador of India to Kuwait. We would also like to extend our sincere appreciation for the Institution of Engineers India Kuwait chapter, represented by Dr. Mahendra, for their valued partnership at this event. And of course, to our distinguished speakers, Mr. Ali Karim Lianizi, Senior Information Security Analyst at the Public Institution for Social Security, and Mr. Noor Muhammad, Chief Technical Officer at Al-Raqib Security. And now, I would like to invite His Excellency, Mr. Sibi George, Ambassador of India to Kuwait, to deliver his speech. Please welcome.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Kuwait Technical College, Dr. Mashari Budai, esteemed technical experts and speakers at today's event, Chairman and Office Bearers of the Institute of Engineers of India, Kuwait chapter, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here for today's special program on cyber security. I would like to begin my remarks by thanking His Highness Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmad Al Jaber Al Sabah, Amir of the State of Kuwait, and His Highness Sheikh Mishal Ahmad Al Jaber Al Sabah, Crown Prince of the State of Kuwait, for hosting the large Indian community in Kuwait, and also for the care and support extended to the people, and also to the people of Kuwait, for the care extended to the Indian community during the COVID-19 pandemic. Dear friends, we are currently living in an age of advanced digital technology. This can most aptly be described as the cyber or the digital information age. Yes, we still do have our traditional machines attending to the needs of production of materialistic goods. Yes, these machines are still housed in brick and mortar buildings and factories. But the systems interconnecting and operating these machines and workplaces are fast turning digital, and the entire planet has now been turned into an interlinked cyber network. Every relevant activity of human beings is becoming digitized, including work, education, governance, recreation, and entertainment. One can see this transformation or technological progress not only in the civilian realm of the society, where we progressed from animal power to machine and mechanical engine power to today's supercomputing power, magnified by the power of cyber, cloud, space, but also in the defense or military domain. Earlier wars were determined by who had better horses and elephants. Then came the era of firepower. Now technology is playing the most important role in warfare or even in armed conflicts. From software to drones to UAVs, weapons and weapon systems are being digitized. Technology is redefining the defense sector like every other sector. In that sense, technology is also defining geopolitics at this stage. Dear friends, today all of us are facing a gigantic challenge posed by COVID-19 pandemic. Governments, international bodies, NGOs, local bodies, and families are all working towards helping each other in addressing the challenges that we face in India, in Kuwait, and everywhere. Our COVID-19 warriors have given their all in this protracted battle against the pandemic and are still standing up to save every life. We have seen how this pandemic disrupted our movements. It has significantly changed our normal ways of how we interact with each other. The way we live and work. Work and study has moved to our home environment, and video conferencing has replaced social and business meetings. This digital form of interaction became the new norm. Yes, yet another example of human resilience it is. We saw how digital technology helped us to overcome this challenge. We saw how people adapted their behavior to accept new norms of virtual meetings and other measures quickly. Actually, COVID-19 has forced all of us to adapt to the digital transformation by increased use of cyberspace and digital technologies. Our mobile phones have become extension of our bodies. In short, the onset of the pandemic last year has just propelled this cyber age even further with heavier dependence on technology. Many nations around the world have turned this crisis into opportunity. Amongst many such silver linings is an opportunity to reach the frontiers of digital technology. And India was one of the pioneers in this aspect. In fact, India faced the pandemic as a resurgent nation that operated digitally in every arena. Throughout the lockdown period, to keep not only its own growth clock ticking, but also growth engine of the world as a key player in the global supply chains. This pioneering of ours would not have been feasible without the dream projected by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, who had said, and I quote, "For me, IT plus IT equals IT," or as he elaborated, Indian talent plus information technology equals India tomorrow, unquote. This optimism and confidence in the strength of IT industry to act as the growth engine for the country in the future is based on India's stellar track record and growth as a global digital power. And just to tell you briefly about the developments in this area, how we went about charting this incredible success story, which is worth sharing for the larger benefit of everyone. The road to our digital transformation was paved inter alia by Government of India's clear long-term digital vision. The vision was backed by a well-laid-out roadmap and operational plan, which, when materialized, witnessed implantation of transformational government initiatives that led to new digital platforms for the citizens and improved access to such platforms. The Digital India program is the centerpiece of the government's vision to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. The three vision areas for this program are building digital infrastructure as a core utility for every citizen, providing governance and services on demand, and digitally empowering citizens for achieving inclusive growth and development of the nation. Several important government schemes such as BharatNet, Make in India, Startup India, and Stand Up India, industrial corridors, etc. are all integrated with the Digital India ecosystem. One of the significant achievements in this impressive digital story is Aadhaar, the world's largest biometric ID system. This system has won laurels from experts and institutions around the globe for its technological excellence. World Bank chief economist described Aadhaar as the most sophisticated ID program in the world. Covering 99% of the 1.3 billion population, Aadhaar allows seamless access to important government services. A truly revolutionary leap which has transformed India's targeted welfare distribution system, making it accessible and transparent. Dear friends, introduction of Unified Payments Interface, UPI, is another significant achievement under the Digital India portfolio. UPI has introduced the benefits of digital payments to the nook and corner of the country. The pace of adoption of digital payments is completely transforming the Indian economy. UPI is now being used by all sections of the economy, from the street vendor to the kirana wala to the local departmental store to the large businesses. Just to share some statistics, Indians have made 37.9 billion digital transactions in the current year alone. 37.9 billion. Again, this is an increase of 27.9 billion from 2016, the year UPI was launched. There are many other significant achievements like the electronic customer identification system, the electronic document storage system, DigiLocker, the electronic signature system, e-sign, and so on. All of these digital solutions are streamlining business operations and propelling economic growth and development. The list of such achievements is lengthy and praiseworthy. Dear friends, technology solutions empowered by Digital India today serve as the backbone for other emerging innovations and applications in the fields of startups, banking and payment solutions, agri-tech, health tech, edu-tech, and so on. Co-win platform associated with the COVID in the fight against COVID is a prime example of the leverage and scalability of the digital solutions riding on the fundamentally strong digital infrastructure in India. With such strong ecosystems in place, there is no denying that India is the land of billion opportunities in this digital age. Our existing platforms will truly help us turn the dreams of our billion-plus people into realities and will enable realization of Make in India, made for the world. Summing up our vision for future in the digital arena and exuding confidence in our capabilities, Honorable Prime Minister had said, and I quote, India as a country is uniquely positioned to leap ahead in the information era. We have the best minds as well as the biggest market. Our local tech solutions have the potential to go global. India is at a sweet spot. It is time for tech solutions that are designed in India but deployed for the world. Unquote. Dear friends, like any other sector or domain, digital or cyber technology with its interconnected approach faces threats of cyber intrusion or cyber attacks. Nations around the world are fighting battles to safeguard our sovereignty, jurisdiction, and privacy from intrusive and anonymous threats dominating the arena of cyberspace. The increase in digitization post-COVID-19 has rendered us most digitally vulnerable than even before. India alone recorded 1.16 million cybersecurity cases in 2020, a 3 times increase from previous year. These cyber targets target both public and private sectors, including sensitive government infrastructure. Data breach incidents are reported almost every month. Personal data of customers, test results of students, even lab test results of patients, attempts are made to steal these from digital systems, and leaked in some cases is even put up on sale online. A significant risk from cyber attacks is also posed to the economic and financial systems around the world. For example, the rise of digital payments has significantly increased complex cyber crimes involving digital payment transactions. Lending companies offer instant, frictionless payment experience to their consumers, which in turn leaves banks and entities operating in the payment ecosystem with very less time to identify and respond to cyber threats. Therefore, cyber security is the need of the hour. It is equally important like food security or our physical security. On the occasion of the 74th Independence Day last year, our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji said, and I quote, "In this era of technology, our dependence on cyberspace is going to increase multifold. However, cyberspace offers its own risks and threats. The world is very well aware of this. It can be threat to the social fabric of our country, our economy, and can even threaten the development of our nation. We are very well aware of this. India is very cautious and is planning to take steps to combat these risks." Unquote. To deal with this enormous challenge, and in this context, placing emphasis on the role of the youth, Honorable Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Our youth can play a big role in devising robust security solutions which can effectively vaccinate digital products against cyber attacks and viruses." Dear friends, we always consider Kuwait and other countries in the Gulf region as partners in our economic transformation, including in our efforts to support the world in its digital transformation vision. Kuwait is a very important country in our extended neighborhood. Kuwait is part of India's energy security efforts, and India is part of Kuwait's food security efforts. Both countries are having an excellent bilateral relationship, stretching back to several decades. The leadership of the two countries are in regular contact, giving clear guidance and roadmap to strengthen our partnership at all levels. Honorable Foreign Minister of Kuwait was in India in March this year, and India's External Affairs Minister was here in Kuwait in June this year. This is part of our increased exchanges in this year when we celebrate 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between our two countries. We have now set up a joint commission at the level of foreign ministers with a forward-looking roadmap to take our long-standing dynamic relationship to a higher level of partnership. The roadmap envisages increased cooperation and collaboration in a number of identified key sectors and domains, and one of these top priority areas is digital cyber security. It is in this context that I am very confident that this seminar, hosted by the Institute, will play a role of a catalyst in enhancing cooperation between our two friendly countries in this extremely important domain of cybersecurity. We have a shared vision of basing our future economies on advanced scientific knowledge with the cyber intelligence being at its core. To achieve our shared objectives and future goals in this direction, it is imperative that we join hands and leverage on the complementarities and synergies between our two economies and ecosystems to propel our respective economies onto a much faster and higher growth trajectories. Today's event is one of the series of programs focused on skill development of Indian nationals in Kuwait as well. I am hopeful that this webinar will help us to understand the basics of cybersecurity in our daily digital behavior. I am happy to note that Indian Institution of Engineers, Kuwait chapter, has come forward to organize today's event in association with Kuwait Technical College under the banner of India at 75 and India Kuwait at 60. I thank the Kuwait Technical College, which I had visited earlier this year, and I remember going with the management, the team, to different classrooms, and I was excited to see the kind of technological advancement they have made, the kind of infrastructure they have built. I see it as a partner for India. I see it as a partner for Indians in Kuwait in the years to come. I congratulate and thank the leadership for inviting me and also for organizing this excellent function today. I would like to stop here as we have experts to speak on cybersecurity, which is a very interesting and important topic, and shed more light on this, I would say, technically rich and complex subject. I look forward to hearing from our esteemed speakers. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for your remarks and valuable information. And now I would like to invite on stage Mr. Mshari Budai, Chairman of Board of Trustees of Kuwait Technical College, to deliver his speech, and Dr. Mahendra to deliver a bouquet of flowers on behalf of the organizers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, guests and viewers who are joining us from different locations. First of all, I would like to welcome the Ambassador of India to Kuwait, His Excellency Shri Sibi George, especially on this special occasion of the 60th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between the State of Kuwait and the Republic of India. We are honored to have you today at our campus. We would also like to extend our appreciation to the Institution of Engineers of India Kuwait chapter for their valued partnership at this event. Let me give you a quick overview about Kuwait Technical College, a college that was established in 2014, focusing on the technological and practical studies rather than the theoretical. Our college has two schools, School of Information System and Technology and the School of Business Management. In this day and age, technology is very dominant. Everything in our world now is digitally connected. And with this, we are seeing so many wonderful learning opportunities, such as this event that we have brought to you tonight. Whether you're joining us from your car, your home, your office, or your living room, the internet has made the impossible possible. Of course, we must always remain cautious and alert because the internet has created a new ecosystem for criminal activities known as cybercrimes. In our lecture tonight, our two distinguished speakers and experts will address the fundamental of cybersecurity and how you can secure yourself digitally. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mshari, for your remarks. And now I would like also to invite again His Excellency, Mr. Sibi George, at the stage for a presentation of mementos for the speakers, followed by a group pictures for the speakers as well. Mr. Noor Mohammed. Thank you. Mr. Ali, can we have a group picture, please? It's okay, I'll take care of it. One more. Thank you. And now we will start our presentation by our speakers, Mr. Ali Al-Anizi, followed by presentation from Mr. Noor Mohammed. The stage is yours.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, Your Excellency, Mr. Budai, everyone seeing us from anywhere on the internet. My name is Ali Al-Anizi. I have more than 10 years in information security experience, have done different jobs in Kuwait, GCC, involved with Microsoft, Google. Just joined the Public Institution for Social Security 2 months ago. I manage information security, secure all the environment for social security information. I wanted to utilize this opportunity to thank 3 friends actually. By the way, I have been teaching in Loyola College, Chennai, Madras. I wanted to Thank you. I wish if we can play that video, this video actually from Tamil TV. It's showing me addressing a workshop about cybersecurity in Loyola College, Chennai. So I wanted to thank actually three friends. One is Mr. Faiz Khan. Mr. Faiz Khan, who is the person who teach me cybersecurity. He was my colleague in a petroleum company. He told me how to start your own business. He told me how to start the cybersecurity. He told me about the network. And the second person is Professor Paul Manuel. I, by the way, have just finished my second master degree in information security from Kuwait University. Professor Paul Manuel takes me to Loyola College in Chennai, and he told me how to start one of the projects there. We have built a project using IoT, Internet of Things, that device. That device helps Loyola College and hospital in Chennai, Madras, to address some issues related to hospitals there. It was a huge experience. I have the moment too, I have sitting there for 6 months teaching youth about IoT and cybersecurity. And for sure, I have to thank my colleagues, my friends in Loyola College, Madras. So thank you so much for allowing me just deliver a small thing thanking them. While Your Highness, Your Excellency, talking about friends, repeating friends, India means a lot for me. When this guy called me, Noor, and he said, Ali, we have an event for India, I said, I am with India all the way. So thank you. Thank you so much. You have said that India and Kuwait have started diplomatic relationship since 16 years. I think we have more than 16 years. So again, thank you so much. The video started, good. So this is Professor Paul Manuel. You will see me wearing dish dasha. So yes, this is me delivering the talk. So let's start talk about cybersecurity and leave Ali and his experience and his things. I will talk about password attacks, multi-factor authentication, and connected apps. Let me first sample what is the cybersecurity. What is the difference between information security and a cybersecurity? Information security is any procedure, any guideline you use to secure your information, whether it's online, on papers, on your car, on your phone, everywhere. As you know, Kuwait has introduced something called Hawiyati. I think all of you are using Hawiyati. So by using that app, you will be able to have your civil ID in the app. So this is actually my civil ID. Don't copy anything from my civil ID, please. So imagine I don't have any wallets now. I only use this app, having my bank account. This is my card. I stopped using cash since 5 years. I use only phone. I have all my cards. As you can see, this is my credit cards. So imagine you are not securing your card, you're not using the right password. So again, information security and cybersecurity, whenever I go, they ask me, why even in Arabic we don't call it, sorry, I will use Arabic language. Why we didn't call it in Arabic al-amn al-ma'lumat? Let me translate. Amn al-ma'lumat is related to anything on papers, on electronic. This is information security. And cyber security related to anything electronic. Cyber is electronic, and security is security. So this is one of the important topics. Kuwait even has started doing many practices, many events dealing with the cybersecurity. So let's talk about, this is what does it mean to you. You have to manage your passwords, and the most important thing is, let's talk about it. I will go back to it later. But cybersecurity depends on three things. It's called confidentiality, integrity, and availability. confidentiality, that the only people who have access to that information is able to access that information. Integrity is no one able to change that information. And availability is that the information is available for people who need access to it. As I said, confidentiality, no one can change that information, protecting information from unauthorized use and access and disclose. Integrity, that performing from any modified and unauthorized use. Availability, and you might got shocked, why availability in cybersecurity? Availability is one of the important things in cybersecurity, because if the information is not available, you cannot secure it. So availability is one of the important things in cybersecurity. One of the major things happening now, I think all of you have received these types of messages that ask you to click. Don't ever click, don't ever share any OTP, even if you know the person personally, you have a relation with him, because for the top management, like Mr. Budai, Excellency, they're using something called smishing, that's sending phishing using SMS. So I know that you have a relationship with the Excellency. I will use and target Mr. Budai to target the Excellency using the SMS. This is, we call it smishing. Don't click on any link. iPhone is secure, but whenever you click on that, there is something called, you might use it as a good thing, is a parent control. But whenever I send you a link and you click, you enrolled in that parent control, and then I can control your device. So imagine I can control your device, seeing everything. This is for the iPhone. For the Samsung, if you don't have any antivirus, that might attack you directly. So Samsung, you need to have an antivirus. iPhone, don't click on any links. And you will say, like, there is many techniques, and it's very hard that to attack anyone. I'm sorry, the tools are all automated. No, what you need to know is the IP address only, or even you need to know the phone number. And these tools can help you to deliver attacks. I will show you this tool. This is one of the tools. Shodan.io. If you type, let's say, Kuwait Technical College, you will see all the services exposed to the internet from that website. Even if you use a default password, let's say you have a camera, one of these cameras here, and the IT department, Kuwait Technical College, connected directly to the internet with a default password. Shodan is something like a Google. All of you know Google, but Shodan will help you to search for any devices connected to the internet. If you use a default password, Shodan will archive it, access to it, and even capture some pictures from that device. So if you want to check if you have any camera at home or something, go to Shodan and type Kuwait. You will see all the cameras, all the open cameras with the default password using Shodan. So make sure that you don't use the default password. Whenever you have any new device, any camera, anything connected to the internet, make sure to change the password. First thing, you change the password. And as I told you, hacking tools are very easy to use. We have a terminology called script kiddie. A script kiddie is the person who don't have any skills, who use these tools. Go online, search for resources related to Kuwait Technical College. Go online and search for any resources related to India Embassy, and started to highlight who's the persons and start then identify from Shodan. Sadly, Shodan is available to anyone. It is a very dangerous tool. And if you have seen the news, there is one attack happens now to one of the mail servers. It's called proxy shell. You can go to Shodan and search for the devices vulnerable to proxy shell in Kuwait and even in India. Very dangerous tool. You have to secure yourself. Make sure you are not listed there. This is a very funny meme, actually. What we call, sadly, in cybersecurity, a human is one of the important factors in cybersecurity. Even in cybersecurity, like we study software, hardware, and human. Because imagine that you have the highest technology, you are compliant to every framework, but your people are not ready, your people are using password, your people are not trained. So this is what's happened. You have a multi-dollar cyber budget, but your staff are reusing passwords. So it's very hard. You have to maintain it, use the right tools. And again, why I have even talked too much about passwords, there is some websites which have the default passwords, and there is a website I will show you to you inshallah later. It talks about if you got attacked, you will be like notified. You will add your email address. It will tell you if you got hacked. If your password is listed here, one of these passwords, please change your password now, because these are the most common passwords used by attacker. So what they do is they have them in one database and start using a technique called brute force. That brute force is an automated tool, will try to do these combinations of the passwords. And this is also a website called Pastebin. Hackers use that website. Even you can see that they got this email and this is the password. From where they get it, this is the IP address. So make sure that you don't use password. And I will tell you a technique called a password manager. Password manager is an application that helps you to store your passwords. You don't know even your password. You need to know only one password called a master password. Master password will manage all the application for you, and it will even give you suggestions for the password. Let's say, Ali, I want to have a complex password with capital letter, with a small letter, and with numbers. The application, these application, one pass, one login, dash, they will do the combination for you and help you to store your password. You don't want to use password manager, I will tell you a technique. Use 4 passwords. Don't use one password. Use 4 passwords. One password is for your, let's say, for technical college email, your main email, but not your personal email. Use a different password for your personal email. Use the 3rd password should be for your social media accounts, okay? And the last password is your for phone. If your, let's say, Kuwait Technical College email got hacked, you can reset it using the IT department, and it will not reach your personal account. Let's take it from another way. If your personal account got hacked, you will not hack, the attackers will not hack your Kuwait Technical College account. So use 4 password or use a password manager. And again, it is very easy to hack passwords like the one I showed you before. Attackers use very easy techniques. Anyone can hack your password if you use admin123. Remember, if you have used any, like let's say STC, Mobile, these routers, sometime while you're going on, while you're walking a mall or something, you shocked that your device connected to another router. Why? Because the person who's offering his Wi-Fi used a default password, and your phone connected to that Wi-Fi. So don't use the default password. And this is the time that requires to crack a password. So, and even I want to recall an attack happened to Sony, one of the admin in Sony. So imagine it's not only personal, one of the biggest company, Sony, as you know. So their admin used a password called admin123. The Sony got hacked, their many resources breached. You don't want Kuwait Technical College to be hacked. You don't want Indian Embassy to be hacked. You don't want your personal life to be hacked. So these are the techniques of how could the attackers crack your password. And this is a very nice website. Have I been poached? This website will tell you if your email got breached and disclosed in any one of the breaches. So you go here to have a PIN code, you enter your email or a password, and whenever there is an attack, they will send you a notification told you that your email got exposed or on this list. So I think last month, LinkedIn was hacked and exposed. So if you are using LinkedIn, you should be changing your password last month. Take care, use that website. It's a very nice website. They have, I think it's here, they have there, it's called Password. You can submit your password there and they will tell you if your password is strong or not, but don't use it. Why? They will have a copy of your password because they will calculate it, calculate the hash. How they will do it? They will save it. If you want, you can just submit a password, test it, and then add some capital letters, small letters, and change it at least. Very nice website, have a beanpole. Yeah, let's talk about and even what's happened. I called what's happened even in India. What's happened during the problem of oxygen and people starting looking for messages and try to help each other looking for the oxygen. There was some attacks using that that attack. So imagine that you have been attacked using the things happen. COVID-19, even people are using these COVID-19 things. Attackers don't care about you. They don't care about anything. So make sure that you are aware. You don't click on any link. And the most important thing, like Your Excellency, you should be using this multi-factor authentication. You don't have any option. You have to use multi-factor authentication. Mr. Budi, you need to have a multi-factor authentication. Even for me, whenever I saw multi-factor authentication, I use it. Basically, multi-factor authentication depends on a password and something you have, like your biometrics, your facial, and then, or even you can have a code that's sent to you. That code got changed every 30 seconds. So if I have your password, I will not be able to access your account because that code will change every 30 seconds. So I can say it is impossible to hack an account that used MFA, multi-factor authentication. Last thing I will talk about is, I think all of you are using Facebook. Facebook and Facebook services like Instagram, WhatsApp. Facebook have this weird thing called off Facebook activity. Whenever you log into Facebook, and even if you close the app, they have that off Facebook activity. What does it mean? And even if you close the app, well, the app will monitor everything you're doing, even if it's closed. They called it off Facebook activity. Anything you search, any app you used, any Google map you access, they have the complete pattern about you. Why? They use it to send you ads. But I suggest you go there, clear the history, and shut it down. Off Facebook activity. And even Twitter, they have the same thing called off Twitter activity. If you close the Twitter again, Twitter will start and monitor everything you're doing. And I think by this, yes, and thank you so much. I want to recall Noor. This is my LinkedIn, this is my page in academia. If you can't reach me, I will be a pleasure to addressing any questions. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for Technical College for this opportunity and for the Engineers Institution, Indian Engineers Institution. This is, I think, my third event with them. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone, Your Excellency, Mr. Mashari Budai. Thank you so much. I appreciate it and good night, good evening.
Thank you, Ali. Esteemed dignitaries, my dear friends, brothers and sisters, good evening. Okay, so today we are here to learn about cybersecurity. Now, how many of you here know exactly what cybersecurity is? Any raise of hands? So cybersecurity is the basic definition of cybersecurity is it is the art of protecting your data, your devices, your network from unauthorized access or any criminal use. Now, we have all been ushered into a digital age, isn't it not? And some of us are born into digital age. What is digital age? Digital age is where we have tons of information flowing through your devices. You interact with these information. Now, when you interact with this information, you have potential dangers of why and how information is being processed. all of us, from the beginning of time, we know that we have to take care of ourselves. It's ingrained in our subconscious that we have to protect ourselves, correct? Now we protect ourselves, our family, our assets, originating threats from either the environment or the people. Now when you're protecting yourself, now we are in this age of digital age. And in this digital age, do you want yourself to lose your name, your reputation, your money? No, correct? So how do you protect yourself from threats originating from cyber criminals? Now, who are cyber criminals and what are their motives? Now, let's see, there are several groups of people who do cyber attacks. Cyber attacks is nothing but they are attacking your digital assets, correct? There is organized crime whose motive is money. There are script kiddies, as Mr. Ali has said. These guys are learning how to exploit your systems. It's fun for them, they're experimenting, and they want to somehow get hold of something. They want to prove themselves, they're just show-offs. Now you as people, regular people, we have an inherent weakness. That is, we trust. And trust is something that we give first. I suggest that before you trust, you first, others have to earn your trust. You never give your trust for free. You will be attacked by either organized crime or by script kiddies. Now the businesses, for example, are attacked by angry customers or any angry employees who have left that organization. They are motivated to attack your organization. And your competitors. Competitors definitely want to get hold of your trade secrets. So they will have a motive to attack your organization. Now there are large global organizations, multinational organizations, which are targeted by hacktivists. This is the most dangerous group of all the groups, hacktivists. They are primarily motivated by destruction, racism, disruption, and political influence. And there are also nation state which operate, their motives are destruction, they spread misinformation, and also political influence and espionage. So as regular people, you will be targeted by either by cybercrime or by script kiddies. Now in this modern day, we use so many things, right? We use email, we use mobile devices, we use online banking, websites, social media, e-commerce systems, networks, and during this COVID time, we are using remote access and backups, right? Now these are all the areas where as a potential hacker, I have immense access to all of these platforms or systems I can attack, right? Now let's see some cyber security terms. Hackers, malicious code, and vulnerabilities. Now how many of you know hackers here? Please raise your hands. All of you have heard hackers, right? All of you have heard. But who is a hacker? Now hackers are those people who seek to exploit weakness in software as well as in computer systems. This is the basic definition of a hacker. So they are planning to exploit any of your weaknesses. So for example, you have a home. All of you have homes, right? Around your homes, you have a perimeter defense. You have either a gate or a wall. Now if I am a thief, what would I do? The first thing, what would I do? I would do surveillance, reconnaissance. I would see first which doors are open, when they are open, and at what times I have a greatest possibility of entering into your system, into your house. Hackers do the same thing. They come, they wait, they check, they surveil for a very long time, and then they find the weaknesses and they exploit that weaknesses. So hackers are similar to thieves, all right, in a broad, crude sense, but they are very sophisticated people. Malicious code. These are unwanted files and programs. The word is unwanted. You don't want these files and programs on your systems. Why? Because they will compromise your data. Now, what do you mean by compromising data? Your data has certain confidentiality. As what Mr. Ali has rightly said, confidentiality means you have the authorization for that information, and that information is restricted to you and the people whom you give access to. If that confidentiality is breached, then your data is compromised. All right? So, this malicious code is also called as malware. All of you must have heard about malware, right? Somewhere or the other in our lives, we have heard about the word malware. We have heard about the term viruses, we have heard about the term worms, and we have heard about the term Trojan horses. Now let us see what vulnerabilities are. What is a vulnerability? What do you mean by a vulnerability? Vulnerability are flaws in software, hardware that can be exploited by the attacker to perform illegal actions. Now viruses, how many of you know viruses? Please raise show of hands, please. All of you know viruses, right? Now what is a virus? Virus typically requires an input from your side. Either you click on a link or you go to a website and you actually hit, either you open a pop-up. Virus needs action from your side. Worms, on the other hand, they don't need any intervention from your side. They exploit the software weaknesses. Once the software weakness is exploited, suppose you have a mobile device. Now, how many of you here think that your mobile device is safe? How many of you think? Right? I'll give you not so good news, right? Your mobile device is not secure. If you think you have privacy in this digital world, please remember there is no privacy in the digital world. You believe in this idea of security. This is again an assumption that you're trusting your device. Never give your trust for free. Make anyone earn it. So why are you trusting your mobile device blindly? Do you know what is there on your mobile device that it can be trusted? There are flaws in your mobile device which are exploited by some states. We have heard about Pegasus software recently. Any mobile device can be hacked with that software. Why? Because the vendor themselves don't know about the flaws, and these guys have exploited those flaws, right? So think twice. Whatever you keep on your mobile device, know that you run a risk of it, risk of losing it. But we as people, we live in this age. We live in an age where we have a probability of getting hacked. So how do we protect ourselves? When so much of danger is lurking around, how do you protect yourselves? Now let's see about some basic security practices which we all can implement to protect yourselves. As I said, trust is never given for free. Now, how many of you know what are the components of trust? There are three components of trust in human beings. One, the logic. 2, the empathy, and 3, authenticity. You have to strike a balance between logic, your empathy, and the authenticity. If you take logic to an extreme extent and you forget about the other two, then your communication is lost and your trust is lost. If you do empathy, if I am just a people pleaser, I say yes, 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 yes to everything, then my authenticity is lost. All right? Similarly, if I care too much about you and I don't take care of myself, the empathy aspect is in imbalance. The same thing, the trust aspect, we have to apply in digitally as well, right? Let's see. First things first, restrict access to your physical devices. Don't allow anyone to have access to your physical devices. So physical protection is the first layer of protection which you will have. Never share personal information. As Mr. Ali has very rightly shown, that there is an SMS message and this message tells you to click on the link, or somebody gives you a call and tells you, okay, I'm calling from so and so bank, your account has very little money in it, can you validate some details with me? Don't give out any personal information or any financial account information. Now, financial institutions will never ask for your civil ID number. They will never ask for your account number. They will never ask for your password. They will never ask for any of these personally identifiable information unless they're calling from an authorized number. Never click on unknown links. If you think that this link is, there was a study recently about when organizations are trained in cybersecurity, people were more prone to click on dangerous links than not to click on those links. Why? Because they're confused. Which links to click, which links not to click. When you are unsure about a link, don't click it. Don't do it. All right? There is a saying in the physical world, when you are not sure about something, you just do it. Here in digital world, when you're not sure of something, don't do it. It's a risk which you cannot take. Do not download pirated stuff. All right? Whatever be it. Pay money for your security. It's very easy for us to get a pirated Windows copy or a pirated software which you want. It's easy to download. Hackers actually embed viruses and worms in that software, pirated software, and that get installed on your system. You are clicking next, 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 next. What you're doing is you are giving permission for the virus to be installed on your computer. As I said, if you're not sure, do not click, and always seek experts, help from experts. Now, not everyone knows everything, all right? You are expert on something, he is an expert on something, you are an expert on something. There is no one expert in IT. There is no one expert in cybersecurity. Each one has a specific area of expertise. So reach for that specific area of expertise. Now, if you want to protect yourself, you will always have multiple layers of protection. You will never have, okay, I have a firewall, that's it. I don't want to do. Suppose you get breached by firewall. What next? What's your next line of defense? So always have multiple layers of protection. Now, what do I mean by multiple layers of protection? First is your device, either your mobile phone or your computer at home, right? On the computer, you need to have at least an antivirus on your computer. If you do not have an antivirus on your computer is vulnerable. And as I said, no pirated stuff, buy genuine software, buy genuine antivirus, and keep them updated, all right? So update your software as much as you can, every day. Also, update your antivirus. As Mr. Ali has said, simple passwords are easy to hack. Do not use simple passwords. Make it complicated. Let me give you an example. You're using a cream, right? So the name of the cream with the name of your car with a number and a special characters which are shift that number. It's a strong password. You will easily remember it. So use some sort of a logic to create your passwords. As my dear friend Ali has already informed you regarding multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is you use a password and you use some sort of device or either a retina scan or your fingerprint, and then you get access to it. Now, these are some of the general resources. Kuwait Cybersecurity Emergency Response, they have information on their site. We have Cybersecurity Citizen Manual, which is provided in India for Indian citizens. National Cybercrime Reporting Portal of India, same thing. Any crime you witness, you can report it directly on this platform. It's an amazing platform. Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency USA, we have this link. Please, if you want to take a screenshot of it, they're very important links, you can do it. So, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Ali and Mr. Noor, for the remarkable information and the amazing presentation. Now we will open the floor for questions. If anyone has a question for our speakers. Dr. Ayman? None. Please, can you pass the mic? You can both share the answer.
Good. Please, on this one. Okay.
Thank you for your presentation. Excellent presentations. My question is reversed. You know, if I am a hacker, now we have so many devices, so many mobiles, everybody can, have access to the internet. Now, of course, as you mentioned, if you are targeting a certain individual, I think, many organizations will do the job for you. And there's nobody secure. Now, my question is for a hacker that have millions of people to choose from. How do they choose? How hackers, having millions and millions of people using the internet, how would they filter which users have more value to the other? This guy, they can have access to so many people. Why this user is valuable? How would they know?
I will take the first.
Because to me, if they have access to 1 million person, it's very difficult to filter the good one. How would they filter?
To answer, there's two types of attacks. Okay, there is a targeted attack. So what I will do is I will go to Kuwait Technical College website. I will see the chairman email. I will start targeting C-levels, and then this will lead to Mr. Budai. But they called it a target attack. Okay, and the other attack is the phishing attack, the very normal attack. They will send to a bulk emails and start, there's a code, you put it in the email and you start tracking anyone opening the email. So if I send you the email, it's not going to you, it's going to all people attending here. But there's a tracking code. I will know if Ali opened the email, and even if clicks in any link. If I have 4 links, I will know which link you click on it. And then I will start proceeding to the next, I will check, خلاص, you have clicked on that link, I will have your email address. I will go to LinkedIn. I will create a target attack. But imagine that there's 2 attacks. First, if I started a target attack from the beginning, a target attack happens to C-levels, happen to top management, happen to diplomatics, they called it a target attack. It's not been happened to me. For me, I get مثلا phishing emails sent to everyone. And then from that tracking code, I could know if this person is very interested in getting more emails, so I will attack him more. And then I will create a circle about him, what Noor has said about reconnaissance. If you want to tell about reconnaissance on the end, please.
Thank you. Yeah, to answer your question specifically, what Mr. Ali has said is coordinated targeted attack, and that used to be the norm earlier. Right now, hackers take advantage of artificial intelligence and they feed in parameters to this AI to so in fact yes, actually you can feed into an algorithm several parameters: economic, financial, value, political influence which you exert, or financial influence which you exert, all right, from various channels. Say you have 50 news articles published in your name, you are a valuable asset, all right, or some financial information of you is disclosed, you are a valuable asset, all right. So either we do through artificial intelligence, or these days anyone who has a device is a target. Do not think that if you are not valuable, I am just an employee in some company. No, don't be under the wrong impression that you are not a valuable target. If you have information on your device, you never know whether that information is valuable to the hacker or not. So they will use your device to attack somebody else's device, all right? Never ever think that your phone will not be hacked. Your phone will be hacked, and your phone will be used to hack his phone, his phone, his phone, because they are your contacts and they are valuable targets. Thank you.
I always wonder about iCloud. We never know who's behind this iCloud, and we usually do our backups for the mobile in this iCloud. So is it a safe place? I know it's not very safe, but can we use it, and we're comfortable about using iCloud in our mobiles, you know, and devices? Thank you.
Let's start. Apple is a very well-known, trusted company. The backup you're using is encrypted. Once you send it using iCloud, no one can see it except you. You have the private key and you have the public key. That's why you can open and de-encrypt and have your backup again. But this does not mean Apple does not have access to it. So if you have a secure data, it is a mandatory to encrypt it. You encrypt it yourself, and then put it in iCloud or put it in any device you trust, and then you back it up. This is what I use Android, by the way. I don't trust anyone. I have my own backup. I have my own antivirus. I don't trust any company. So iCloud, or cloud itself, it is a storage in another one PC. So you are saving your data in another personal PC. So it's not secure. So if you have anything, but let's call Apple as a well-known company, well-trusted. You have to trust that company. What do I think? Yes.
Thank you, Ali. So I again say, I repeat myself, zero trust policy. Don't trust anything digitally, all right? If you trust iCloud, you're trusting Apple, right? But that trust should be well-founded. That means you have proof, you have evidence, empirical evidence that Apple is trustworthy. Personally, if you ask my opinion, I would not trust any platforms. I would store my information locally somewhere and disconnect that information from the internet, all right? I do not want. If you are putting anything online, think that it might be hacked. It might be revealed. So any information which you put online, you should always at the back of the mind know that this information can be stolen.
Any more questions? Thanks to our speakers. And now I would like to invite Dr. Mahendra, Chairman of Institution of Engineers India Kuwait Chapter, for the vote of thanks.
Good evening. It's my honor and pleasure to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizers of the cyber security seminar today. First, my heartfelt thanks to His Excellency Sibi George, Ambassador of India to Kuwait, and his team for giving us an opportunity to conduct a webinar on fundamentals of cybersecurity as part of our second joint event with IEA and also Kuwait Technical College to commemorate the 75th Independence Day celebration and 60th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Kuwait. Thank you, Excellency, for the support. As I promised, we will do more skill development program in the coming months. Thank you very much once again. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Mashari Budai for giving us a nice facility, hall and all these things, and also the support by your team. Really appreciate you. We will assure you, we will do some big international conference and other things with the support of Indian Embassy here. Every year we are doing an international conference involving delegates from USA, Canada, India, everywhere. So this time we will involve you also. I am giving assurance that we will work more under the guidance of our Excellency. Thank you very much for the support. I take this opportunity to thank Engineer Ali Karim, Senior Information Security Analyst. I call number of times. Every time whenever call, I am ready to support. Today I was impressed with your talk and also a clipping of Tamil Nadu TV. Really happy to see it. It's from my hometown. And also, Engineer Noor Muhammad, whenever there is a need, during Dr. Mailsami visit, he was the IT expert for us to be with Dr. Mailsami for the 3 days in Kuwait. And he supported Dr. Mailsami, he gave lot of information during that event. And whenever we need any IT support, he is there. Thank you very much for the nice informative talk. I learned a lot. Finally, I thank all the audience, the people in India, various chapters in colleges, universities, all the Kuwait chapter and Bahrain chapter who are attending this event online, and all embassy officials who supported this event. Whenever we ask, immediately they said, Doctor, do it. So really happy to thank all embassy officials and also KTech officials and all IAE volunteers for your support. Thank you once again, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahendra, for your remarks. At the end, I would like to thank the Embassy of India and Kuwait team, represented by His Highness Siri George and the team. Thank you for your organization. I would like also to thank our audience. Hope you enjoyed and benefited from the seminar tonight, and looking forward for more collaborations with the Indian Embassy and the Institute of Engineers. Thank you so much. Please help yourself. We have refreshments and snacks outside the theater. Thank you very much.